Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, to another year. My name is Juan Londoño and we're going to kick it off with a Happy New Year 2024. Today's video focuses around the topic, will people buy what I love to shoot? For those of you that were following the channel and watching the videos weekly, I do apologize. I took like a 6-month hiatus, and even before that I took like a couple of months. So it was just a challenging year in many ways, but that year is behind us and we're moving into the new year. So I'm excited. I hope you've made a lot of plans for this year and goals, and you started checking things off and writing things down, and what you plan to do before this year is up. So lots of luck with that. For those of you that are starting to launch a website, or perhaps even thinking about a storefront, a brick and mortar storefront where you want to sell your stuff, or maybe share a space with somebody and you want to hang up some of your work and get some money, this is going to be a very valid question, right? Will people buy what I love to shoot? While there may be other factors involved, right, like pricing, right, that means it's valid. We're going to talk about 3 major things here. That's more geared around liking and taste and that sort of thing, right? But we'll mention pricing at the end and a couple of other things. So what are these 3 things? I have them listed here. Number 1 is the impact of what you like to shoot. And I'll go into detail in a second, right? Number 2 is the dynamic between what you enjoy shooting and your customers. And then number 3 is, hurts to say it, but your popularity. So let's start with the impact of what you enjoy shooting, what you like to shoot. What I mean by the impact is simply the wow factor. So basically, wow, oh my God, that is beautiful. Look at that piece of art. Look at that photograph, right? How much wow factor does your work have? That's going to be a huge influence for all of us, right? If somebody looks at one of my photographs and connects with it because it reminds them of something in the past, because it reminds them of something in the future, something they're trying to do, because it's that's now wow factor. You're connecting to somebody maybe on a deeper level, and that's fantastic, right? We all want to do that, and it's hard to do because we don't know what people are thinking, what people are doing mentally, right? What they have planned. So when somebody does connect with one of our photographs, I've heard it so many times, like, I love that photograph because it reminds me of this little log cabin that my family used to have up in the mountains of New York. I had no idea that somebody would connect for that reason because the picture was taken in Georgia, right? So you just never know how you're going to connect, and this is not wow factor, right? Wow factor is just the simple breathtaking. Is it the color? Is it the location? You found this place that very few people have photographed, or this particular sunset, or the way the sun reflected on the water, whatever, or the clouds reflected on the water, right? Wow, that's it, right? That's going to make a huge difference. If you have a display of 10 pictures and half of them are wow, then those are 5 pictures that are probably going to sell very quickly. Number 2 is the dynamic between your customers and what you enjoy shooting. So what does that mean? I have 3 subcategories here. Taste, that's their taste. Their connection, which is, we just touched on that, right? We'll get into it a little deeper. And then geography, which is going to affect their taste. So let's put those 2 together for a minute, right? Depending on where people are from, they're going to like different things. And we've seen this our whole life, right? So it's going to affect their taste. That's why I figured that's really not 2 categories, it's 1. So there are many different reasons for affecting people's taste, right? But one of the major ones is geography. If you're from one part of the world and you were surrounded by beaches your whole life, you lived on an island, and for the past 5 years you lived in a cold, overcast city, you walk into this gallery, or you walk into a showroom, or you walk into a website, and beautiful, beautiful pictures of the beach are present before you. there's going to be a connection there, right? Which we haven't even talked about connection, but just a liking, right? Forget connection for the second, just a liking, right? You like these things, even if they don't have a connection, right? Depending on where you're from, you're just going to like different things, right? The way you were raised is going to affect that, right? So I just listed it all as geography. If you're living in a particular area, if you move, say, to the south of France and you want to set up a little art gallery there and you want to show your pictures, start questioning yourself about the people that live in that area, right? Start questioning them. What kind of art would they like to see? You probably have built up quite a bit of a, repertoire by now, hopefully. And if that's the case, you have a library of images. Put some out and see what people talk about, what people like, what people buy, right? Are they wine-oriented? Vineyards? Are they old castles? Are they beaches? Are they landscapes? Are they flowers? What do people like, right? So this is something you want to play around with, especially if you're moving to a location like that. If you have a website, it's a little less troublesome because you're putting it out to the world, so you're going to get bites from everywhere. And then what you can see in the statistics is which people are biting which images, right? Oh, well, look, it turns out that this particular country is buying most of my flowers, or this particular geography, right? Geographical location is buying many of my landscapes. So those are the things you start learning about yourself and about your artwork. But definitely something that affects that is their taste of the geography. And as we talked about, still within this dynamic is the connection. Is there something from the childhood, that person's childhood, right? They had a little pet and you took a picture of this Labrador or this German Shepherd and it reminds them of that, right? Those are very, very interesting connections that we can't foresee, right? You can't guess them. You basically just put the picture out there and see what happens, right? So I have many pictures like that. When you do street photography, that happens a lot. People associate with something, right? Whether it's the darkness or the rush hour or the muted colors of a city, right? Of the hustle and bustle. So connection is very important for number 2. And finally, number 3, popularity. This is the one that people shy away from talking about, but we got to talk about it because it's a real topic. When a band is starting out, a musical band, they'll put out a song that they think people are going to like, right? And they'll play with that sound. What does that mean for them? And they'll come up with a couple of different songs, and then they play one at a bar, and everybody goes crazy. So then they realize, okay, we know what people kind of like. Let's do more of that, right? And all of a sudden, people are going crazy for them. So they put out their first, we used to call them LPs, record, album, right? We can still call it an album, more like a CD now. But now with Spotify, it's not even that, right? They just release a bunch of music, and people start listening. Well, guess what happens? 10 years later, when this band is mature, they've put out, a bunch of releases. They have 20, 30 songs that people are familiar with and enjoy, and they're filling up arenas now, right? Small arenas, medium arenas. Now they can start experimenting with what they truly like. They don't start always with what they like. Maybe at the very beginning, and they realize nobody cares. Then that one song that people like, then that wakes them up. Okay, we have to do more of that if we're going to, become big and sell more music, right? So that's the same thing in photography. You might start with things you like, but you're going to get a bite, and you're going to get many bites in one particular area, and you're going to realize people really like this type of photography. Let me focus on this. Let me get my name out there first, right? Let me get seen by people. So you do more of that stuff, and people start buying. And then when you've been around for a while, like Peter Lick, you can start experimenting with different genres and different things, because by then you have a name. So those are the 3 major categories, right? For trying to decide if people are going to buy what you like to shoot. And then there's all these little things too, right? How many, and I didn't put these in here. We can categorize it as another category if you wish, but let's do that, right? What do we call that? Miscellaneous for now. We're talking about price, right? If your price is too high, then obviously you're going to scare people away, especially if you're starting out. If your price is too low, believe it or not, people won't take you serious. So you've got to find a good price because you think you're doing people a favor. You think you're going to move your art by, taking an 8x10 and charging $20 for it. And then some people will buy it. And then many people are going to question, how good is this person, he or she, if this is what they charge for their work, right? Some studios, if you want to exhibit there, might even say, this person doesn't value themselves, right? So do we want to invest in somebody that doesn't really think they're good enough to charge a little more? So be careful with that. You want to go out there, you want to see what other photographers in your area, don't go crazy looking around other countries and stuff, right? Or if you live in a little town, don't check prices in New York City, right? Or vice versa, right? If you live in New York City, don't check the prices in a little town. They're going to be very different. So check the prices in your area, see what other photographers are charging, and then start in that ballpark. Something else is, how many options do you offer, right? Are you printing on popular media like other people are? It's not just paper anymore, or paper and canvas. People are printing on glass, acrylic, which is like a very hard plastic, a glass-like. They're actually printing on glass too, glass blocks. They're printing on wood. They're printing on aluminum, sheets of aluminum. They're printing on all kinds of things, right? Now you have to think of shirts, bags, cups, mouse pads. Are you going to offer these products? Because that opens up your market, right? And it makes your stuff more buyable, right? More people can buy. Now, people aren't just buying for themselves. For example, if you offer puzzles, right? 250, a 500-piece puzzle of one of your works, they can give that to a child or to somebody, even an older person that likes building puzzles. Now you're not just giving the gift because it's going to look pretty on the wall. Now you're giving it to somebody who enjoys building puzzles. So you've opened up the market, right? So think about all these things. It's very important. The year is starting out, 2024. If you see this in the future, then it doesn't matter when you're looking at this, right? Because it's never too late to open your mind and think about what's out there. If you're looking at this video in 10 years, what are the things that people are printing on now, right? Look at the possibilities. Go into one of the popular print shops online and see what the options are and make sure you offer some of this stuff or all of it. So I don't want to start too long. I wanted to start with a quick video, a welcome back. We're going to hit it hard this year. I've got some topics that I had written before that never got out, so I'd like to continue with this format here in my dining room. We're going to move into the living room later. I'm going to do a couple of things. We're going to interview some different people this year, and we're going to do some product reviews that I started as well. Some of this equipment is older, but it's okay. People are buying old lenses and they still need, reviews. But then this year we're going to change things up a little. We're going to start doing towards the middle of the year some reviews on new products that are going to be coming out in the middle of the year, okay? So I am committed to you this year, 2024. I hope that it brings everything you want, everything you expect, and 10 times more. Best of luck with everything you do this year. Keep me posted in the comments. Let me know what you've started, what you're working on. I would love to read all about it. I always comment. Like I said, I took a break and you commented and I haven't gotten back to you. I apologize, but I will see you in the next video. I love you guys. I am so happy to be back. Please take care of yourselves, and until the next time, ciao for now.